What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your pet will be eaten by a very angry famous TikToker. Lil Huddy himself will get a spear and spear your goldfish. So I was checking my Instagram DMs, doing what you gotta do, and whenever I see this certain title or I see these words on an Instagram DM, I automatically read it, alright? And it says, subscriber story, kid ate the class pet. And for those of you that don't know, this channel's first big break ever on YouTube was a video I made called This Kid Ate the Class Pet, about a kid that ate a goldfish when I was in school, And ever since then, it's just always been a funny thing. I guess it's more common than I thought. And so when I saw this subscriber DM being like, yo, some kid ate our class pet, I automatically assumed it was some kid eating a goldfish. But upon further inspection, apparently this edgelord, cooked himself a whole gerbil casserole, and I figured that it would make you guys entertained. So, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. It is a classic, and without further ado, let's get into it. So, I was never a super big art guy in high school, but I definitely know that the art teachers were always super chill, and the weird kids would just naturally go in there and hang out, but not weird as in, meowing at people and being super weird, but the kids that were just artsy and indie, just a little too cool to be hanging out with normal kids, they would go hang out in the art room, And I guess this person's school was no exception. They would hang out in the art room at lunch and whenever they had free time, and there was a little community in there of a couple different cliques that didn't really have a place they belonged that would just go hang out in the art room. And for the most part, everybody got along pretty well. The art teacher was super chill, but it was one of those teachers that was a little too hippie, everybody just vibe out and everybody's special in their own unique kind of way. One of those art teachers that's a little too supportive of the weird kids, kids are, oh yeah, I want to go into the woods and sacrifice squirrels, and the art teacher's like, hey, whatever helps you express yourself, man, that's what life's all about. But there was one kid in this art class that was a little bit of an edgelord. He had a bald head, he wore trench coats to school with combat boots, and I've never understood the kids that wear combat boots to school, alright? What are you fighting, dude? Oppression in math class? Let's be realistic here. Put down the combat boots, edgelord, and chill. And whatever, the kid was definitely scary and would always threaten kids, but the art teacher had this soft spot for him and was like, we can change him, if we just make him feel included, then he'll suddenly become a good person. And trust me, by the time the kid is a skinhead wearing combat boots to school, it's probably a little bit too late, I'm just throwing that out there. But for whatever reason, the art teacher's nice, and this kid was just scary. He would threaten people. All the art he would do was a very dark stuff. He'd draw it to be like, it's art class in flames and we're trapped on the inside, just one of those kids that's a little bit too dark. You're like, ah ha ha, I would be very uncomfortable if I was trapped in a classroom alone with you. Just one of those types of kids. And the teacher is super, super nice to them. And about halfway through the year, the art teacher decides that she wants a class pet. She's like, oh my gosh, let's get a class pet. It'll be so much fun. And I personally am of the belief that most class pets should be something really easy to take care of, like a goldfish, don't go hard, all right? Don't get a dog. Don't get a cat. Don't get something that requires a lot of attention and energy. You just want to get something dumb. But for whatever reason, this art teacher decides to get a gerbil. So they get this gerbil and they name it Gerald, which is a pretty solid name for a gerbil. It might not be the best class pet, but a gerbil named Gerald is pretty funny. And that's a solid Witcher reference, everything's stacking up to be pretty cool. And most of the class loves Gerald. All of her normal art classes love it. And the kids that are always in there during lunch or free time get a special connection with them because they take care of him the most. But for some reason, the edgelord doesn't like Gerald a lot. And whenever he is around Gerald, he just does stuff that's low-key mean. He'll pick him up and drop him from 6 inches up on the table just to see him squirm away. He's just low-key kind of mean to the gerbil. But he doesn't do it when the art teacher's around. So he starts begging the art teacher to take the gerbil home for the weekend. And the art teacher's like, oh my gosh, see guys, this rough exterior, this trench coat wearing man is obviously going to take fantastic care of our gerbil, guys. Let's just take a moment and just meditate on that. Let's just see how much art has changed society. We've changed this kid's life. And all the art kids are telling the teacher, look, don't let him, he's mean to the gerbil when you're not around. And the art teacher, for whatever reason, doesn't believe the students and is like, you guys are being ridiculous. He's not being mean to the gerbil. Look, he wants to take care of it. He asked me to take it home and take care of it for the weekend. That's progress. This is what we've been striving for, This mean kid, we're going to slowly transform him into a gerbil dad. He's going to get a shirt that says #1 gerbil dad and everything. It's going to be adorable. Newsflash, what happens is not very adorable and very, very sad. And the kid keeps begging the art teacher to take it home. So the art teacher's like, oh my god, I've changed this student's life, and she lets the kid take the gerbil home, which, may I say, is weird. If I had a class pet, I would not be offering to take it home and watch it personally. I'm just really not a ginormous fan of more work. Like, if someone's volunteering to do more work, that's super cool that you're a good person. I'm just personally not of the camp that likes more responsibility. So, taking care of a gerbil all weekend is not really on my giant cup of tea. I'm not going to go out of my way to make it happen, you know. Personally, I'm just keeping it $1.50 what you hear, kids. So whatever, that weekend, Gerald the gerbil goes home, and it's the last time anybody sees the poor gerbil, okay? So Monday comes around, and the edgelord comes back to class without the gerbil, and the art teacher is like, hey kid, where's the gerbil? You know, you're supposed to bring it back to school. It's not exactly a gerbil that you keep home with you. It's a class pet. And the kid's making excuses. He's like, hey, oh yeah, you know, I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. Don't worry. We were just having so much fun that I kept him at my house a little bit longer. And the art teacher's all hyped. She's telling the kids, like, see, you guys were worried for no reason. He's changed. He's become a better person. Look at that. He's taking care of the gerblets at home. The next day comes. Sure enough, edgelord makes another excuse. Oh, yeah, my little brother's super in love with the gerbil, and I didn't want to take it away, so, you know, I just didn't bring it. And the art teacher's kind of getting annoyed, and she's like, all right, well, you have to bring it back tomorrow. It's not really a choice. You have to bring the gerbil back. It's not up to you. You can't keep it another day. I don't care if your brother's in love with it. I want my pet back. So the next day, the kid walks in, no gerbil, but he has this, like, casserole thing, and he says, look, I'm sorry I didn't bring the gerbil, but try some of this. My mom made it to say thank you for the gerbil. It's really, like, brought our family closer together, so try it. So the teacher starts to eat it, you know, and the teacher's like, wow, this is really good. What type of meat is this? And the kid smiles and he goes, oh, I'll tell you when you're done. So she eats the rest of this casserole, and the kid just has this devilish smile, and everybody's in the art class because it's before school. Before school started, he just wanted to make sure the entire day was ruined. So afterwards, the teacher's like, all right, well, what was that? And the kid smiles and is like, oh, it was Gerald. And everybody thinks he's kidding. They're like, ha ha, but the kid doesn't laugh. Like, you know when you make a joke and you laugh along with it too? The only problem is this kid doesn't laugh. He says that they just ate the gerbil and doesn't smile. Like, he doesn't laugh, doesn't anything. And the art teacher is like, what do you mean? And he starts explaining that he took Gerald home, but he wouldn't stop making noise in the middle of the night, so he got mad and shook the cage. But apparently he shook the cage a little bit too much because Gerald stopped making noises permanently after that. And he was trying to figure out a way to get a replacement gerbil and decided to make meat with 2-day-old gerbil that he had shaken to feed it to the class because the kid is a psychopath. And obviously the teacher is like, okay, that's not funny. This isn't a funny joke. And the kid's like, I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. I made gerbil casserole, you know? So the art teacher is immediately like, go to the dean's office and is trying to figure stuff out, but she just ate her class pet from the kid that she was trying to defend, you know? Like, this was the kid that she was like, look, we have to help people in need, guys. And sure enough, trying to help people in need led to her eating her class pet. Not exactly a 10 out of 10 theory. And here's the thing, guys. I'm all for helping people, you know. Somebody's struggling, you think they're a little lonely, they need a friend. That's cool and all. But can we all just agree that maybe, just maybe, it's important to make sure that the person that you're trying to help out isn't a psychopath that's gonna cook gerbils? I mean, everybody else saw it coming. Like, who drops gerbils onto the table just to see it struggle for fun? This kid should not have been anywhere near a gerbil, and sure enough, he decided to make some gerbil casserole. I'm also 90% sure that, like, every documentary I watch says that most serial killers start off with animals, so, if this person, ends up being on the news for having 18 bodies in their fridge, I can't really say I'm surprised because they made a gerbil casserole because the gerbil would make noise. Like, why did you take an animal home with you if you didn't want it to make noise and do work? You got pissed at the gerbil for doing gerbil stuff, so you decided to shake it till it stopped moving? You're just a psychopath. Moral of the story is, if there's a kid with a trench coat that abuses gerbils, maybe you don't send it home with him because he's gonna take your gerbil, shake it, cook it into a casserole after making excuses for why he didn't bring it back to school for 2 days, and feed it to your art teacher. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you turn on notifications, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby. I shout somebody out every day. Today's notification shout out goes to the Swantastic, Swag Muffin, Fantastic, Scotty J 2022. Big thank you for having on notifications. I really appreciate it. Turn them on if you don't already. Check out the Teespring Teespring store for more merch, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'll be back from vacation, so we're gonna have some fresh swag-tastic content, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.